All right, we're in it here on a late Sunday night. Another late night start time for us, but um, I'm here to talk about what was a fun weekend in college basketball. Like had some really good games to talk about. Got to go up to Birmingham and see Auburn give the number one team in the country everything they could handle today. So like that was a fun experience. It was a hell of a crowd in Birmingham today too. I don't know, like you were watching the game on TV, man.
Mhm.
Like I'm like I know our people showed up. It was loud in there, man. Like how did like were you able to tell that on TV? Like it had to sound pretty good, like an
Yeah, I
Auburn
mean,
home
every time
game.
every time Auburn went on a run, like it got loud. Every time there was like a tie-in score or like a good play by Auburn, I will say
It's
it's not as like over the top as last year being there in person, but I mean, still it's a big game, so it was pretty loud.
yeah. Yeah, I mean definitely like the crowd showed up today, man, and it's like I tweeted earlier after the game and said to you guys in the group chat, and like I feel like we'll get into the game and like the loss and what it was and everything, but like I said, the demise of Auburn basketball has been greatly exaggerated because like the fans showed up, like the team came to fucking play today, man. It's like that's a tough loss, man. Like you hate losing like that. You had to, three chances to win it on that last possession, and it just like it didn't work out, man. But it was a great effort, man. I mean, that's the number one team in the country. And gave them everything they could handle. That was yeah, a lot to be a lot to feel good about.
I mean, yeah, that was like I mean, it was an intense game the whole way. I know in the first half it kind of started off as the typical Houston game, just tackle ball. Like there was a lot of physical play. I mean, the whole game was like that, but I mean, once both teams started to get into more of a rhythm, it was more of a back and forth affair. Auburn gave Houston a game. Houston has had their struggles. Their upperclassmen haven't looked the part. They've kind of been carried by their
Uzan was
younger,
bad again
yeah,
today. Like
Uzan and uh, Tugler. Like
yeah, I mean it
Sharp
was
was okay, but
Kingston Flemings was like the story. I mean, we've talked all year about like freshmen. We didn't talk enough about coming into the year, and there's another one, Kingston Flemings, man. Like he was fucking incredible. Like hats off to him. Yeah, he couldn't miss today. He was definitely the reason that I'm finishing sending these tweets um that were live, and then we'll kind of get into the game as a whole.
I
Um,
know and Sanak played pretty good too. Um, they just kind of played their typical Houston like that murder ball style. I mean every time Auburn had a run, they had an answer. Like it kind of looked like Auburn was getting momentum, and then Houston would just kind of take over. I mean that's kind of like Houston's style. They're always under control, like never too far out of control, even when the shots aren't falling. They kind of like just grind their way
yeah,
through the game.
it's like every time we got like a little bit of momentum going, uh Houston would hit a big shot and kind of like quiet down the crowd a little bit. It's like we like we didn't lead the whole second half. It's like we were right there. We could just like we couldn't quite like break through and really like really take this game over at any point. Like we were right there the whole time, but I mean, like I said, like it's hats off to Houston, man. I got nothing bad to say about like Houston or anything that happened coming out of the game. I know um I was mad after the game and like we're kind of getting more into it now. But yeah, Houston 72 or Auburn 71 was the final. Was it 71 72 or
It's
73 72?
it's
Something like that.
73, 72.
Okay, I knew it was something like that. I haven't gotten the box score pulled up yet. I'm working on that right now. But but yeah, like we'll get more into it as a whole. yeah, Auburn went tit for tat with Houston and took them down to the absolute wire. And yeah, it's like it's a disappointing loss, obviously. But I mean, it was like the crowd showed up, the team showed up. Like, I mean, I like this is Stephen Pearl's like first big test as a head coach to see if like he was ready for the moment. And it's like I don't know how you can say anything other than he wasn't coming out of this game because I mean like uh, Auburn came to play here and gave the best team in the country like everything they could handle in this one. Um, so yeah, it's like there's definitely some things to work on still. Like there were missed defensive assignments a lot, and gave Houston some easy looks from three, and like we didn't do a good job like staying home on defense almost, and would give them like really good looks. We would let guys slip under and get to the basket, and nobody would get back and defend the hoop. Some of the man like the I like one of our biggest issues in this game too was the turnovers and the passing. Like a lot of errant passes for Auburn and turnovers here, and like Houston had a few turnovers down the stretch, but like throughout the game, like they weren't turning it over at all, and Auburn just couldn't protect the basketball and was making bad passes. And but yeah, so Houston gets the win here, and but like I said, a lot to be encouraged about. Like I definitely come out of here with a positive look. We'll see. Like they'll work on things they had to work on. I like the biggest issue with Auburn right now is like we have to find a way to get Todd Pettiford going because he just hasn't been great in these first four games now. Like he was bad again today, and I mean, if he knocks down some of those looks that he can knock down, like we win that game today. And he just hasn't been himself so far, and it's been a head scratcher. But like, if you can get him going and run that offense through him and Keyshawn Hall, and like Keyshawn Hall was fucking awesome in this game today. Like, hopefully the injuries, nothing major that he suffered at the end of the game here. He got hurt on a foul and then shot two free throws, checked out, went back in the tunnel, came back on the bench. Um, I think he was trying to give it a go, but I saw him like because we weren't very far from the bench. It's like what I saw is like he at one point when he came back out of the tunnel, like he was trying to put his shoe back on, and it looked like he was like struggling to put his shoe back on. So I don't know if it like might like there might have been some swelling there that was like causing like because obviously like if he's struggling to get a shoe on, like that'll do it. And he was gimpy, so he wasn't able to get back in this one. But based off the fact he came back out of the tunnel and like looked like maybe he was going to be able to give it a go, like it's a positive sign that like I don't think this was anything major for Keyshawn Hall, but hopefully not because he's a guy we're going to need, and he's by far been our best player so far this year. And he was awesome today. 20 points, 11 rebounds. Um, he was everything we brought him in here and paid him a lot of money to be, and we know he was the leading scorer in the Big 12 last year, and he's played against Houston before, so like this isn't anything he was going to be scared of, and he showed up today. And on the Houston side, like I mentioned, like Kingston Flemings was unreal in this one. He's a freshman, and like you certainly didn't expect him to like be leading this team in big games, but like he sure enough was, and like he was unreal here. He had 22 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Um, yeah, he was awesome for them. Trying to if I can get this box score to pull up. I was trying to see how many threes he knocked down because he knocked down only 1 3. Okay, I thought he knocked down more threes, but nevertheless, and yeah, like we talked about a little bit before, like free throw shooting was a big issue for Auburn here as well. It went 21 for 33 from the line, and like that's another thing. It's like you point to a lot of things. It's a 1 point loss, but like that's definitely like big difference in this game was just knocking down some of those free throws. And but yeah, like I said, a lot of positive takeaways here. I'll let you give your thoughts on the game and what you think about it. I've been rambling on here for a while, but yeah, like I mean, Steve Pearl said it himself after the game. Moral victories are for losers, but like I walk away from this game like with a very positive outlook on this team and in this season. They answered a lot of questions today.
Yeah, I mean Auburn really. I think they battled pretty hard, like through a lot of adversity in the game. I mean, you mentioned Keyshawn Hall rolling his ankle. I mean that moment that might have cost them the game a little bit. I think he just rolled his ankle pretty like kind of sprained his ankle. I don't think it's anything too severe. Just kind of like your typical roll over, and it may keep him out of game. I don't know. It just depends on what it looks like, if it's gimpy or not. And
It
depends
certainly
on
doesn't seem like it's anything
yeah,
major though.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
the fact that he came back on the bench and
mhm,
looked like he was
mhm.
like it looked like it was at least a possibility he was going to check back in there at the end.
Yeah. How much time he misses it just depends on who Auburn plays here next.
I mean, our next game's
Couple
against
weeks.
Jackson State,
Yeah,
so
so he may not play that one, uh, but yeah, just kind of that they kind of Houston kind of went on a run after Keyshawn Hall went out, but then they battled back right at the end, kind of made it a game right there at the end. Stayed in it, didn't get the shots obviously. Um, Auburn just kind of they need to find Tahad Pettiford. Pettiford needs to find his shot, like you've said, and find other offensive avenues outside of Keyshawn Hall, because Hall is kind of like the go-to guy for Auburn this year, and they don't have the depth that they did last year, at least offensively. A lot of good defensive players on Auburn as
certainly
well.
not with the depth. I mean,
Yeah,
we only
yeah,
got 10 points off the bench today.
yeah, mm-hmm,
7 from Sebastian Williams Adams and 3 from Cade.
mm-hmm,
That's one guy with this team, and it's like people who don't watch Auburn a lot like might not like. I mean, he knocked down a big three. Caden Magwood did. Like, I want to see more Caden Magwood. Like, I want him to get more minutes. I need him to let it fly more. Because like he's a bucket getter, man, and like every opportunity they've given him so far this year, he's taken over, and it's like I don't know if you can play him and Pettiford together, like because that'd be a very small backcourt. So like it wouldn't exactly work playing him and Tahad together, but like when he is on the court, like that's like if I was talking to him, I'd be like, let it fly, dude, because like he can shoot it well, and he knocked down a big one in the first half, and then or it was the first half, early second half, I don't know when it was, but like, and he never tried another shot after he knocked down that big one, wasn't on the floor a lot. I want to see a lot more of him. He's been impressive so far this year, and he only had 3 points in this one, but he's a bucket getter.
yeah. I mean, Auburn's those guys are gonna have to step up for Auburn if they want to win more games, especially when you get into conference play. Um, just help. It would help them to be more versatile, um, to help their defense out, especially in a game against a team like Houston that just has good defense, and they're going to throw everything at a Keyshawn Hall. And so,
It was kind of like I said on Friday, like we're gonna see which one of these guards like gets it together between
mhm.
Milo Suzanne and Todd Pettiford, and like both supposed to be like the lead guys on their teams, and like neither of them really did today. Like Tahad had the better game with 15 points, but 5 for 14 from the field. Shots were not falling for Pettiford today, and like Milo Suzanne like had a brutal effort from the field too. So yeah, like both of those guys who are supposed to be like really like lead guys for their teams, like having a hard time getting it going. But yeah, like I said, I mean it's an impressive effort, man. Like I hate that I'm walking away from a loss like so positive because I'm usually not that kind of fan. I like pride myself on not being that kind of fan. But and Stephen Pearl said himself, like moral victories are for losers after the game. But man, like I'm like really impressed, and just like my whole outlook on this team is just so much higher than it was, you know, after the Bethune-Cookman scare opening night and kind of left a lot of question marks and a brand new team, first year head coach, like, a lot of questions to be asked. And like, man, to lose by one and play that tough and against the best team in the country. Like, I mean, we out rebounded Houston in the first half, which is like, if you told me we'd be losing at halftime and out rebounding Houston, like that would have been absurd to me. Like, I couldn't believe that. Like, we were winning on the glass and we're losing the game. But I was like, that is like, if you out rebound Houston, like you're ahead of them more often than not. And like, we were able to do it in the first half and we're losing at halftime. But, yeah, I mean, and it was a great first half, and we kind of came out in the second half, and I was, expecting the game to get away from us at some point, and it never did. Like we were just always right there and couldn't quite break through. But, like I said, like props to Houston and Kingston Flemings in particular. Like they played an awesome game here. Like they were tough as always on defense. I mean, to get 3 stops on defense in the last 20 seconds, super impressive because like the ball went out of bounds 3 times. Like they had to get 3 different stops. They blocked Pettiford twice, and then obviously the inbound play. There was a second left, and Houston got the stops they needed, man. And that's like you got to be super stout and super tough to be able to hold up on defense 3 separate times with the game on the line in the last 20 seconds. And Houston was able to do that. So I mean, like hats off to them, man. Like they had to earn this one.
Yeah, they played their tails off on defense. They just kind of like threw everything to stop Auburn from driving to the rim, and that's kind of when Auburn did that, they just kind of lost the ball, and that was it.
I really want Matt to show up in here before we move on from this game because Matt made it sound like Auburn was going to get fucking smacked around in this one. So I at least got to take my victory lap on that.
If watching Houston, I like they aren't the type of team that just like rolls away unless you're a bad team with not much offense. Auburn's a physical team, so they kind of play a similar style to Houston. I mean, it's kind of like watching, just two very similar teams go head to head.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, when the physicality they're gonna bring, and it's like there's no better test in the country to figure out what kind of basketball team you have than like playing Kelvin Sampson's Houston team. Because like if you show up like not like you better bring your A game or you're gonna get pushed around because they are tough, they are physical, and we do have Matt now. Oh my good. What are we? What is going on? What am I looking at?
Nothing.
Is that your favorite college basketball player?
Oh yeah. Totally.
Can I get some context, please, as to why this is on your screen?
I just witnessed Jalen Hurts play a terrible football game, and he's getting all the credit for somehow beating Detroit when Dan Campbell is now calling plays and can't scheme up a first down. Very annoying. Very, very annoying.
Dan Campbell still never changed. Just doesn't know 3 points are beneficial.
Does not know how the scoring of the sport works. It seems so. Yeah, quite frustrating there. But please go on to whatever it was you were talking about.
Well, we were kind of wrapping up on Auburn Houston here, and we were giving our thoughts, but yeah, I mean, I guess I get the kind of victory lap on you because you said we were going to get smacked around in this one, and that did not happen at all, man.
Yeah.
I
thought they were. I will own that.
How do you? Because you were Jacob was pretty high on Auburn still coming in this season. He gets a pass, but how does this game change your outlook on Stephen Pearl and this team? Because to be like to give that kind of effort in this kind of game and like go down to the absolute wire and lose by 1 versus Kelvin Sampson's Houston team. Anybody who had doubts about Stephen Pearl and whether he was the right hire and like how bad this Auburn team was going to fall off, like this answered a lot of questions about Auburn today. And like I like curious as somebody who was very low on their prospects this year and Stephen Pearl as a coach. Like I imagine this at least had to change your outlook on Auburn somewhat.
Sure, yeah, I was admittedly the Bethune-Cookman game kind of scarred me a bit.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Like
I was not expecting them to be like, well, this is a team that can compete with Houston on a neutral court. Yeah, I was actually very impressed. The most impressive part probably amid them keeping that game close and everything was one, like a lot of teams try and like play Houston's game against Houston and beat them at their own game, and you can't. It's not gonna happen. And most of the time, like Auburn in this game, like the intensity was great from the start. I thought they were competing,
fantastic,
and yeah, just everything was really, and like Stephen Pearl's like intense himself. So the first thing I thought when I was watching that game was like, well, this is not going to last. The intensity that it takes to like go toe to toe for 40 minutes with a Houston team is just extremely difficult. If it were that easy, everyone would do it. And obviously not everyone has the athletes or the discipline and the basketball talent that they have. But yeah, overall, I was just the most impressed with that, is that they, stayed with Houston from an intensity standpoint from start to finish. There was no dip in intensity. I was super impressed with the rebounding effort also.
Yeah, I mean, I said that to Jacob. I was like, we beat them on the glass in the first, which like, if you would have told me coming in, we were losing at halftime and like beating Houston on the glass, which is like, if you beat Houston on the glass, you're going to be ahead of them 9 times out of 10 because that's where they make their money. And I was like, how are we out rebounding them and losing right now was mind blowing to me.
So that was super encouraging. They moved the ball really well against them, I thought. Like, there were a lot of missed rotations for Houston defensively that I think that, the Auburn ball movement was strong. I was encouraged overall by what I saw from them. I do think that Houston might have a higher ceiling. I think they have a better, deeper team than Auburn. But today, that was definitely a game they could have won if they executed better down the stretch. And, I mean, Houston, as you talked about before in our chat, where it was just like, man, every time Auburn just feels as if they're about to just grasp the game and take over the momentum, Houston just goes down and gets a tough bucket on the other end. And
no, that's exactly what it was. It's like every time like Auburn would hit a big shot, everybody would stand up, like the place would get rocking, like Bruce Pearl was there, like going crazy. Like they were showing him on the jumbotron, like every chance they got, and like he was definitely getting the crowd fired up. But like it's like every time it's like we got the momentum going, they would just go down and hit a huge shot, and it was Kingston Fleming's most of the time, and it was like, oh, like we just could not quite like grab this game. Like you said your quote earlier was they held on to the rope. Like
they did not let it go. And that was super impressive. Just foul trouble, anything. They just did not let up. So I would be really encouraged if I were a fan of either team, honestly. I would be really encouraged if I were Houston because I feel as if that was not their best game. Their freshmen have a lot of room to grow. There's like a part of me that's like, the scoring might be an issue because they don't really have a guard that's like capable of taking over down the stretch. Fleming's might be
UConn has been awful so far. And like both, like I mentioned before the game on Friday to you guys when we were talking, like, we would see between Uzan and Pettiford, like who can step, like they both were awful again today. Like Pettiford had 15, but he was terrible from the field. 5 for 14 from the field. Like got blocked twice on the last possession, which like that's one of the problems with him. Like looking at his NBA prospects, is he's a small guard. You're a small guard. You get your shot blocked twice. Like that's something you're always going to have to deal with, unfortunately.
Yeah. So I would be really optimistic if I were a fan of either team. I think that was a really good game for both teams to see where they're at and see where they
It was
They
the
played well.
opposite. Houston went scoreless the last 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah, and that's going to be a concern for them going forward. But yeah, I'm definitely higher than Auburn than I was before the game. I think the Wings were pretty solid. I just think they like the effort against that Houston team that it takes to keep a game really close with them should not go unnoticed. I know there's a lot of basketball reasons, but like that was probably the number one thing for me that stood out was like they kept, Houston kept punching back every single time. And
can we get your face on camera? Or are we just going to be watching Angel Reese?
I'm finishing a sandwich here. I haven't fucking eaten for a while, but
I'm just staring at Angel Reese, and I just can't. Like,
I picked a good background for it. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I was really impressed with that Auburn effort today, and it's going to be. I mean, ultimately, this is going to be decided in conference play for them how they play in SEC play. But that's a good test for them, and that's definitely better than like going and beating like Wofford by 30 or something. So yeah, I'd be happy if I were an Auburn fan.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a lot to be positive about coming out of this game. Like, and it's like I said, the biggest thing to me is like we had defensive questions. Like the defense was good, and it's like this was Stephen Pearl's like first big game as a head coach, and like he looked like ready for the moment. Like he did not seem like phased or intimidated by the environment.
Well, I don't care if he does. The players didn't. Like the players were unfazed, and that was probably like I don't really care how he looks on camera or anything. Like the players were up for it, so I think that's a reflection of the coach as well.
Yeah, and like, and a big part of this that Jacob mentioned before he hopped on was the fact that Keyshawn Hall went down before the end of this game. Like, probably like because that last possession, it was pretty much just Pettiford, and he got blocked twice, and they knew the ball was going to Pettiford, and you didn't have the threat of Keyshawn Hall out there. And Houston also like, and I gave Houston their flowers like right before you got on here too, because like to get 3 stops in the last 20 seconds on the last possession was insane.
You can count
and
on
both of their bigs were fouled out at that. Both of their bigs were fouled out at that point, and they go with both of their bigs fouled out and get 3 stops and a must-have-it defensive possession.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's why they are who they are.
I feel like a loser, and I am, according to Stephen Pearl, I am a loser he said moral victories are for losers, but like, I hate walking away from a loss, like as positive as I am right now, but I was like I have no, I wish we won, obviously, but like after that game, I'm like, all right, like we just played with the best team in the country. Like we can play with anybody. Like if we gave that kind of effort versus the best team in the country, and Pettiford wasn't even good in this game, their best player. Once Pettiford gets going, come on now.
Yeah, I mean it's an all-time kind of like easy coach speak, kind of to drop that line. Of course, like you're not.
I think that was a
like,
shot at.
really...
I think that was a shot at Hugh Freeze. Him saying that, by the way.
Oh wow, that would be something.
Yeah, because Hugh Freeze is a big moral victory guy. He always.
Yeah,
we're so close.
There's obviously nothing like. I'm sure internally he's probably pleased with where the team was. But yeah, I don't blame him for being like, well, we're not going to celebrate. We were just in the Final Four. Like, why would we celebrate not winning a game? So I get it from his perspective, and I think it's fair. Like, I think it's fair for the fans to be excited, but I definitely think that the coach needs to be a little more level-headed of sorts with that stuff, if you will.
I loved him getting fucking after that ref on that last play. Like,
yeah, he marched out to the court.
He is Bruce Pearl's son. And by the way, I said when me and Jacob were talking before he hopped on, like, I was mad about the last play and the no call earlier. Like, I did watch a replay, and it was the right call. Like, because he didn't reach out and shove Murphy at all. Like, It was just a bad pass, and Murphy tried to make they both tried to make a play on the ball and ended up making contact. But I did it was a right no call.
Yeah.
Looking back at it.
Yeah, and Houston just gets those calls, man. Yeah.
But I didn't even think that. But I didn't even think that. That should not have been a foul. I can objectively say that. I don't think that was. I think that was just a bad pass and two guys going for the ball. I don't think that was a foul. And Houston got called a lot in the second half. In the first half, the whistles were out of control, and in the second half, Auburn kind of dialed it back on defense a little bit and to avoid the fouls, and ended up giving Houston some easy looks by doing that and not contesting as much. But Houston obviously didn't, and Houston was getting whistled for those calls, which Houston got a lot more fouls called in the second half than we did. But I didn't think it was an unfair whistle. I just think we dialed it back on defense to avoid not playing a free throw fest all day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it's great game. I'm sorry, Steven. I'm claiming I'm enjoying my moral victory tonight. That was a great effort. I know Steven thinks I'm a loser for thinking that, but it's okay. I will enjoy my moral victory tonight.
Doesn't though.
Yeah. By the way, Matt or Jacob, I don't know do either of you know how the bracket for Players Era works?
Got nothing for you. Yeah, no idea.
Because Auburn and Houston are both in Players Era in Vegas next week. So, is there potential we see this game again next week in Vegas? Is that on the table?
I don't know how they seed it or how the matchups work.
It's 18 teams, and it's not even a bracket. And whoever moves on is based on strength of victory. So it basically incentivizes if you're beating the shit out of a team, run it up on them. That was my takeaway from but there's nothing if you go to the Players Era website, maybe something to look at if you're running Players Era, put hey, how does this work?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for Feast Week, man. We're a week
it's
away.
It's gonna be good. Well, it technically kind of starts this week a little bit.
Yeah, we got some of the invitational tournaments this week, and obviously Players Era is the big one now. We'll talk more about that next week, obviously, but just I don't know. Are you guys pro Players Era? Do you hate that it's kind of killing some of these other tournaments, or I don't know? I think Players Era is going to be so good. I don't even care at this point.
I mean, I wish there was a mix. I mean, I feel like it should be a rotation. I mean, I want to see Maui stay around and stuff like that. Some of these exotic locations. If it kills stuff that's in the U.S. Vegas and stuff, that don't really matter. But Maui should always exist because I feel like it's just one of the things that makes college basketball different.
I am a big fan of the Players Era. I do not care about the games in the Jamaican bowling alleys or wherever the Battle for Atlantis takes. I don't care. I am here for competitive games with stakes, and yeah, sign me up for that. I am all in for that. I do not really. I never really Well, seriously, that's where it seems as if that game's being played. I'm like, what is this? And I don't know, Maui's cool because of what it means to Maui and everything, but
to Bill Walton.
Yeah, it's not it's not my favorite thing. I don't need it. I would still love college basketball if it didn't exist. But yeah, I'm here for the Players Era. Give me games that mean something this early in the season and sign me up for that for sure.
All right, I was trying to filibuster a little bit with the end of the Auburn stuff and the Maui stuff for you to emerge from Angel Reese to talk about UConn. But we'll move on. UConn 86, BYU 84. This is another game. Obviously, last one, I'm biased. I talk a little bit more about Auburn than I did Houston, but might do the same thing in this one because AJ Dybansta is so fucking good. Oh my God. Like that second half by AJ Dybansta was absolutely incredible. UConn holds on and gets the win. Silas Demery looks like a game changer for UConn. UConn did not have a guard with Silas Demery's capability last year and like what he brings to the table on defense, like what he can create on offense, like his intensity he plays with, like that is like he is something like a player like Silas Demery is what UConn missed last year. And when they didn't have that guy in their backcourt, like the whole offense kind of fell apart. But like he brings you back to like he's like a Stephon Castle type. Like I'm not saying he's as good as Stephon Castle, but he's like that kind of player. And UConn needs a guard like that to run their offense through. And what he brought and how good he was on defense too. Silas Demery was a revelation in this game for UConn, but BYU didn't really have an answer in the first half for UConn's size and like what UConn was throwing at them defensively. It seemed like UConn was just going to kind of run away in this thing, and then the second half was just the AJ Dybansta show where like I was like I was like standing up in front of the TV. Like, you ever have those games where like you're like you can't sit on the couch anymore? You're just like standing up in front of the TV watching it. Like
Oh yeah,
that was me watching AJ Dybansta in the second half last night. I was like, this guy is incredible. It's like every single time, like he was knocking down everything, and it's like the last possession for BYU, like they had him there for like that dribble handoff three that he kept knocking down from the top of the key like every time. And they had it right there and tried to go to the basket with it and lost it and ended up losing that possession. But like I thought they had to eat because like AJ Dybansta couldn't miss that shot the entire second half. And like they set it up perfectly again and like tried to take it to the rack and lost the ball. And so UConn holds on. But yeah, great win for the Huskies. But yeah, you had like this is another one where no moral victories, but you have to feel pretty good if you're a BYU fan. AJ Dybansta is indeed everything he was cracked up to be because that kind of performance on that stage against that team, you got to give you got to give your flowers to him. But I'll throw it to Matt first, and then Jacob, you can chime in on this one. But obviously, Matt, as our resident UConn fan, deserves his moment in the sun to talk about this one. But that's enough rambling on for me. We'll let Husky Nation's representative in here talk about it.
Yeah, so super exciting one, UConn didn't have Braylon Mullins in this game, who was a preseason Big East freshman of the year. So they had to get a little creative without him. Demery looks exactly like how Tristan Newton kind of looked when UConn won the back-to-back titles. So that's super encouraging. They shot from the field really effectively. They got a lot of good open looks. Everything they ran really worked. And honestly, like, Vance is unbelievably good. And I think the most like underrated part of watching him play is if like you watch most of the buckets that he scored, he is like very well guarded, like on all of them. Like he is facing everyone that UConn has to throw at him, and it didn't really matter. Like they were just like incredible individual efforts. And yeah, UConn threw a lot of Jaden Ross, a lot of Jalen Stewart, some Alex Caravan at him, and he was
Jalen Stewart
well.
was a liability on him in the second half.
Like he was guarded closely, and they were right up on like defensively, they were right where they kind of needed to be with everything. But all things considered, it didn't matter. Like he was that good, and he did look like a kind of that Tracy McGrady, Dwayne Wade type of player. And yeah, he was the only reason that game was remotely competitive. For BYU, you have to be over the moon that one, it is rare, especially you see in college football, Miami spending a ton of money on Carson Beck, and he might be the thing that keeps them from winning the ACC championship. Nico Imaliava gets a ton of money from UCLA, and that doesn't work. Like AJ Dybansta is worth every penny to BYU. Like whatever the figure is that he's making, he is worth the price. I
What
think it was
what the
speculated that he's like 7 or 8 million.
Yeah,
But
I just throw in. Can I throw in real quick, like complete subject change? I just have the TV on, like with the volume off. The leading passers in the NFL today were Jacoby Brissett and Bryce Young. What the fuck happened? Like, what
Brissett, I looked at
Jacoby Brissett set the NFL record for completions in a game.
Yeah,
What?
I saw that.
What?
I looked at my
Yeah.
fantasy team. And I had Michael Wilson on one of my fantasy teams. I had Michael Wilson on the bench. He had 185 yards
Oh
and
my
like
god!
insane amount of points.
Oh my god! Matt,
That's
proceed
for
about
sure.
AJ Dybansta and BYU. I just saw that on the screen. I was like, what the fuck happened? Like,
Yeah, so Jacoby Brissett completed, so 47 passes. That's a
what?
NFL record. So, fun fact for anyone out there. But, similarly, not quite Jacoby Brissett, he might be worth every penny to the Cardinals now, but certainly not what AJ Dybansta is worth to BYU basketball. So, really exciting if you're them. They still defend horribly. They are a soft team. They are not a very gritty team, and they do not defend well. So that is still some serious areas that they have to clean up if you're BYU. But that's going to help them and raise their ceiling significantly. That if they're in a tight game, they just have someone who they can go to and be like, he can probably score on literally anyone in the country. Like I don't think there's anyone one-on-one who is going to stop him from scoring or getting to his spot. So yeah, he is the real deal.
It was reminded me so much of Kevin Durant. Watch, like I know that's everybody makes that comparison, but like with that comparison in mind, like watching that game last night, like that's exactly what Kevin Durant does, where he can just create his shot from anywhere on the floor.
Yeah, and it was I don't know. It was like I obviously didn't want BYU to win, but it was kind of crazy to watch unfold in real time. That he was just like, you're in a game with someone who's not going to miss, and it's a wild feeling when you're in it, and certainly to win, you feel pretty fortunate. So yeah, BYU's got a squad. They certainly have someone who they can go into every game like 99 out of 100 times, and they can say they have the best player in the game. The guard plays good, but yeah, defensively, they have no identity defensively. It's a lot of confusion, a lot of misrotations, a lot of lazy defending also. So I think that's an area that is probably going to hold them back. Similar to last year, they were not a good defensive team. But yeah, this year, they're going to need to clean some things up on the defensive end if they want to get themselves from like a team that can maybe make a Sweet 16 to a team that can be in the Final Four.
Yeah. One thing of note here, it was the injury. Keita, their big man, he went down early in this game.
Very concussed.
Yeah. And so I mean that was a big loss for them on the defensive end though, where like they didn't have their big man to get the stops they needed in the second half. So like you have to factor that in when discussing all this. That, like they didn't even have their big man in the second half, and so yeah, that was a big part of this. But you talked a lot about Dybansta though. I mean, I know you had to be happy with everything. UConn did too. With like I said, Demery is awesome. Like, and he was like. It was kind of like head scratching last week when Dan Hurley was like, "Yeah, like me and him, like we have a contentious relationship," or whatever Dan Hurley said, and like clearly did not phase Silas Demery with his head coach saying that at all. Which like Dan's smart, like he's a good coach, and I'm sure he wouldn't have said that if it wasn't gonna motivate Demery. So
yeah, that was the thing he had with Tristan Newton when he was there. He would always get really frustrated because Tristan Newton did not share his level of crazy competitiveness, and Demery's kind of cut from the same cloth, and they're both pretty similar players. It was fun to watch. I mean, they have so many ways they can score on you. I still think UConn runs the best half-court offense in the country, and yeah, I think that they are pretty well positioned. I mean, they should based on what we've seen, I would say they're a pretty heavy favorite to win the Big East. They're definitely a national championship contender, and the bigs are solid. That was so last year. The front court depth and the back court depth were things, as you mentioned, they did not really have the guard play to elevate them to a second weekend team. And you saw it on full display when they played Florida, and they just didn't have the guards to go toe to toe with that team. Granted, nobody did, but like especially UConn last year did not. So yeah, it's exciting for them to play a pretty big game that early on. De facto home game, pretty much for all intents and purposes. So yeah, it was fun. I mean, Caravan looks good. Demery looks good. Solo Ball did not have his best game, and they still were able to pull that out. So yeah, I just hard not to like what you see. Ryder, the freshman, looks good. And again, they're doing this all without Braylon Mullins, who projected lottery pick. So yeah, when they get him back, they should take their offense to another level again. And they play Arizona. So they got Arizona coming up, and they got another not totally one-man show coming again. But yeah, they got to deal with Koa Pete. So excited to see how that goes. And yeah, but it's exciting. I mean, they should really take it to the Big East this year. Based on what St. John's has done, Marquette does not look very strong. Pretty rough outings from them thus far. And, who knows? Maybe it could be Ed Cooley's Providence that makes a play for top 3 in the conference. But, yeah.
Ed Cooley's Georgetown.
Yes. I can't believe I made that mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, you just triggered some Providence, man.
I know, yeah. Yeah.
Are we back in 2022? Like,
hey, Travis, you look good in orange. Yeah. But yeah, so shout out Jeff Goodman there. Yeah. But no. Yeah, I think that it's exciting for them, and they're kind of back to what they were when they won national championships. So yeah, good place for them to get going here, and good win, all things considered. It was frustrating because that was significant to some in the end there. Very, very frustrating non-cover from UConn. But yeah, I would say that's another game where both teams should probably feel pretty optimistic about what they have going forward.
Jacob, you haven't had a chance to get in here on BYU UConn yet, so your thoughts on UConn, AJ Dybansta. Great game last night. I don't know if how much, if not all, of you tuned into or not, but whatever you got on this game too. Want to make sure I gave you your chance to jump in.
I was gonna say, like, UConn, they kind of dominated the game, but AJ Dybansta took over in that second half. I didn't watch a huge amount of it.
I figured you were watching Purdue last night. That's
I kind of turned that off. I just kind of like sat on the couch and just kind of zoned out for a while. But anyway, AJ Dybansta took over and willed BYU to stay in this game. I mean, it was pretty much a home game. It was the home court neutral site trend that we've seen the past several years in college basketball, playing on the Celtics court, which everyone was complaining about the court like last night.
I kind of liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mind it.
Mm-hmm.
What about it? Just because it was the Celtics court?
Or they didn't like how it looked.
I mean, it was just a regular Celtics court.
Yeah.
It was the same. It was the same thing that was happening in UCLA, Arizona on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
They were playing on the Clippers court.
But anyway, AJ Dybansta took over, willed them back. UConn got a good win, good top 25 win for UConn. I don't know where BYU's true talent level is. It's just kind of like they're just an inconsistent team. And like we've said before here on the podcast, just like their defense, they're going to have to find some consistency on defense, or otherwise they're going to be about how they were last year. Even with AJ Dybansta, talent like that, it doesn't help to score 80 points if you give up 90, which was kind of the story of the game last night.
I do think it needs to be said also, that has got to be the weirdest locker room in the country. You have like Dybansta there making almost $10 million, who's got not one bit of Mormon in his DNA.
What do you mean?
And, like,
He's taking mission prep.
Of course, yeah. And like Rob Wright, who's there to collect a check. And then the rest of like some of those other guys are like 25 years old, married with children, and like living out the Mormon way and everything, and like just a very weird combination of people, like unlike anywhere else. So I don't know how it must be able to coach that team or something. Like you got, I don't know, they whatever the Mormon version of church or chapel is on Sundays. I would assume Sundays. Yeah, just a very weird.
It is Sundays because because they can't play Sunday games when they make the tournament.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I mean, yeah. So it's just weird to me. Like, I don't know. I'm not the biggest like BYU fan for a variety of reasons, but like, yeah, just very, very weird. Weird roster there. Did you see what like Ryan McGee wrote from ESPN?
Yes, that was crazy.
Yeah. So people got on his case immediately.
He changed the entire paragraph. Like,
you're gonna have to send me what you're talking about.
He like made some joke about like Joseph Smith, and then like related it back to their lack of defense or something. And like people on Twitter just flipped out.
I'm sending it to you right now, Jacob. I'm trying to find it. Here it is. All right, yeah, I'm texting it to you right now, so you can go check. I'll just read it. It said BY who? Legend has it that after the angel Moroni showed Joseph Smith in the golden plates upon which the Mormon Church was founded, he also warned Smith to make sure to heed the oft-forgotten inscription located on the scratched-up backside of the plates. Beware the coveted fifth spot, lest it bite you in the behind in Lubbock.
Now
I love Ryan McGee for what it's
I do too. Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad at first. It was just until like people said, "Well, imagine if he said that about like a Muslim school or something." Like yeah, I can see I can see where that would get pretty dicey. So.
I love Ryan. I love Ryan McGee though. He's one of the.
He's great. Yeah,
Marty and McGee is a fantastic program.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an awesome game last night. It was a fun watch. Great Saturday night, and what was a pretty lackluster evening in college football. That game was definitely the main priority I had to watch, and it was awesome. Okay, let me throw one non-basketball subject out for the room before we move. I'll do Maryland Marquette next. Did Jamar Chase spit or not? Like, what? I've seen so much about this Jamar Chase spit. Like,
I feel like Jalen Ramsey just makes stuff up.
Yeah,
he's one of those people that makes stuff up to say, "Oh, I hate him" or get in a fight. You know.
I did not see any spit.
Well, we're very fortunate that was not Isaac Tesla or Ryan Clark would have been like, "Oh, he spit." Yeah. Like Ryan Clark wants that Texas State trooper like burnt at the stake for what happened yesterday, which is crazy. That guy should definitely be
when elbows out,
that was absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, of course, he and LeBron jumped on that immediately.
Of course.
But no, I don't think Jamar Chase spit.
Oh boy, some people are not going to like the tone of the conversation we just had. We got 25 people watching. That probably is not going to come off right to some. But we have fun here. It's okay. Take no offense. Or do. I don't really care. But But anyway, yeah, I had to throw that out. Matt, how was Xfinity Live for the birds tonight?
People are loons. I mean, seriously, they I don't know. I think it's very interesting this year with the Eagles and their fans, where the excuse making is very high for Jalen Hurts play, and he seems to be the only one that the fan base they're like, oh my gosh, Saquon's not running as hard as he used to last year. Now that the line play has dipped a little, Saquon's not working. AJ Brown, they're all over. Jalen Hurts can do no wrong though. It's just that man is on rock solid ground with a lot of Eagles fans, which I did not expect, but yeah. So
You said you were decked out in Lions gear. What are we talking? Did you have a lion costume?
I got a Stafford Detroit jersey, but that's about it. I had to set the record straight with that chat that there was nothing in me that was cheering for the Eagles.
The reason I said that in our group chat for the show is because Cody is in there and he's kind of our producer of this whole thing, which it's so funny because we just talk college basketball in there and Cody does not watch much college basketball, so he probably just scrolls through there once a week and has no idea what we're talking about, but a big Eagles fan, so that's the reason I threw that in there.
Yeah, thank goodness you didn't do that in the other chat, or else Dylan would have been like, what? Let's go to the link. Cheer on our birds against Austin sorry Commanders. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, let's talk some more ball. I guess next biggest game of the weekend was Maryland 89, Marquette 82. Right off the top, the Pharrell Payne injury. Don't seek it out if you haven't seen it. If you're squeamish, do not look it up. But that was disgusting, and so have to start off by nothing but well wishes and.
So I didn't see the video. I didn't see the video. So can you describe in graphic terms what happened?
He went to hang up on the rim, and as he was hanging on the rim, he came down, and he landed on one of the Marquette's players' shoe. Landed, and it so it stretched. He just kind of fell onto the ground.
I did not watch it
straight down
for the reasons you said. Yeah.
Yeah, just straight down, and it looked like he injured everything, pretty much everything in his lower body. He could have injured anything, or anything and everything. If that makes sense.
Yeah, unfortunately, that does make sense.
Wanted to shout out too. Marquette retired Jarrell McNeil's number yesterday, which I thought was really cool. If you're, I imagine the three of us, avid field of 68 guys, he's a great personality on there and is helps out with their stuff a lot. He's awesome, and I love it when these schools kind of bring guys back and retire their numbers, because yeah, it's Jarrell McNeil played there. I was looking up what years, 05 to 09. And yeah, I'm sure that was really cool for him to have that moment and go back there and be embraced. So thought that was really cool. I love it when guys get to go back to their alma maters and have their numbers retired and be celebrated. Wish that happened. I love that stuff. So shout out to Jarrell McNeil on that number retirement. That was cool. This is Buzz Williams return to Marquette. Mixed reaction for Buzz here. He left them for Virginia Tech, so I can see why there's still some bad blood there. But this was Buzz's first return there, and they rallied after the Pharrell Payne injury. Marquette was up big in this game, and they had this game pretty much in the bag. I was in the midst of almost burnt my house down yesterday. So I had this game on and kind of had to like tune out, look back, like saw Maryland came back and won this thing. And that's about what you'd expect from a Buzz Williams team. Like they're always going to play tough and play hard. And they really rallied after that Pharrell Payne injury because you know how it is uh, when a team's best player goes down, like the team can kind of just shut down or they can rally and win for that guy. And that's what Maryland did yesterday. So big win for the Terps. Still not sure what in a loaded Big Ten, like what their prospects are, like if they're going to be a tournament team this year or not. But Buzz Williams is a fantastic coach, and this was a great win for Maryland. And then you look at the Marquette side, it's Chase Ross, and it's not much else. And Shaka's anti-portal, which I don't really get when Shaka became this like anti-portal guy, like because like from everything I've heard and read, like they have the money at Marquette to like get these players, like they have pretty good support there, and Shaka just does not want to use the portal, even though the best player he's ever had at Marquette was Tyler Kolek, and that was portal acquisition, but now he has decided that's not how he wants to build a roster. So you end up with a team with Tyson Ross, who's really good. He's going to put up some crazy stat lines this year because they have nobody else on that team who can knock down shots besides Tyson Ross. So he will have some great games this year. And other than that, I don't know. Marquette might just be bad this year. And Shaka might be in Dabo Swinney territory where it's like, hey, time to get in the portal. That's what I got for this one. Whoever wants to go next, jump on in. But big win for the Terps.
I don't know if Maryland with Pharrell Payne's injury, it sounded like it's season ending, which is obvious from what happened, but just kind of like I don't know where they top out at without Pharrell Payne. But they got a big win over Marquette. Marquette, it may age poorly. This win may age poorly if Marquette continues on the path they're on. Chase Ross is their best player. And just they don't have the firepower to keep up with a lot of these Big Ten teams that are kind of considered the middle of the road.
This is kind of what I expected Marquette to be, by the way. Like, I didn't think they would be this bad, but like in our preview show, like I mentioned Chase Ross as a like dark horse Big East player of the year. And like, I mean, we'll see how like I don't think Marquette's gonna be like bad, like bottom of the Big East bad. But like but I think they could be good enough for what I'm like. I mentioned him as a dark horse Big East player of the year, and it's like they have nobody else that can get a bucket on that offense besides Chase Ross. So like I stand firmly that Chase Ross is still a dark horse Big East player of the year because even like with just their lack of firepower on offense, like he is going to put up some obscene stat lines this year.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't, without any other scoring options, really, he probably is going to be up in that first team All Big East territory, especially if he keeps scoring like 31 points a game, like on a regular basis.
Yeah, they are kind of up against it. For one, I do understand like where Shaka's coming from in some ways, where he wants to be like, we're going to reward the guys who stayed in the program, didn't hit the portal. They've been with us for years. We want to reward them, and we don't want to just give their minutes to someone who, we pick up in free agency, basically, in the portal.
I mean, that's great if you want to.
That is great.
If you don't want to win games.
Yeah.
Like,
so, unfortunately.
Dabo is the shining example of that.
Now, Dabo's got a lot more equity with Clemson, I would say, than Shaka has with Marquette.
Absolutely.
And I think it's going to get potentially ugly if Marquette does kind of flame out here. And then you see other schools in the Big East like Providence, Georgetown, DePaul, maybe Jacobs, DePaul, making progress and making bigger strides, while Marquette is really not going anywhere. I would say that it's hard because Dan Hurley kind of tried this last year where he was like, we're not going to hit the portal. We're just going to supplement the team with portal guys. They didn't really make any huge splash in the portal. They just wanted to kind of reward the younger guys who stayed in the program, didn't hit the portal. It did not work. It did not work for them. And UConn kind of scrapped that model in some ways. And they just kind of kept the existing model of let's reward the guys who are here, but let's also not turn away the best players who want to play for us kind of thing. And it's not as if there wouldn't be any interest in Marquette. There's no way. If Marquette was offering money, if you're a guard, you would want to play for Shaka Smart. And I don't know why they are not really out there recruiting the portal hard. I know it's hard on the coaches, so I don't know if there's an element of him that is just I don't want to do this because it's a lot of time and it's not really worth it when we have guys we believe in the building already. So yeah, it's confusing from that point of view. And let's not Marquette has not played bums to start the season. They're getting worked by what we believe to be at worst decent teams. So yeah, it's still early. But yeah, it's not very encouraging what we've seen from Marquette thus far. And
by the way, it just dawned on me. I was calling Chase Ross Tyson Ross. He is not the former Major League Baseball pitcher Tyson Ross. His name is Chase Ross. I was saying Tyson Ross. Thanks you guys for jumping in and correcting me on that. I appreciate it. But yeah, I just thought of that and
I don't always
wanted to mention that.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It's hard to say still with Marquette, and there's still a lot of time for them, but it does not look great thus far. And in the case of Maryland, I think I was expecting a middle of the pack Big Ten team before the season. With the recent events, with what they've gone through, we'll see if that ends up having an effect on the prospects the rest of the season. But yeah, I mean, the Buzz Williams team is always going to be really well coached. They're going to be really physical. They're going to get after it on the glass, on the defensive side of the ball. So I think they'll compete and they'll be fine. But yeah, both these teams, there's still a lot more questions and answers for sure with both of them.
Got anything, Jacob? Or
I
you want to move on?
I think that pretty much covers it.
All right. Next game to talk about, not a lot of big stuff to talk about this weekend, but Georgetown got a 79-74 win against Clemson. Yeah, we alluded to it earlier, but I don't know. We'll see. Ed Cooley might finally have something going at Georgetown. They might be the third best team in the Big East, like you said earlier, Matt. If that's saying a lot, I don't know if that's saying a lot. But yeah, I mean that more speaks to the lack of depth in the Big East than Georgetown being this great team or anything. But I mean that's a solid win against Clemson. I still think Clemson will be a tournament team come Selection Sunday. Not a lot of firepower there, but I don't know. I think they're a solid enough program. They'll pick some games off in the ACC that against the top teams there, and I think the ACC looks a lot better this year. So there will be more opportunities for resume building wins for Clemson, and I'm sure they'll pick some of those off. And I think they'll be a tournament team when the time comes. But Georgetown gets the win here. KJ Lewis was awesome in this game for Georgetown, and yeah, Ed Cooley might finally have that ship turned around in year 4 at Georgetown. So hats off to him. Anything on this one?
I was going to say, Georgetown's kind of come out the gates. They're kind of looking like they're a solid tourney team, which Georgetown really hasn't been for a long time. They weren't ever much with Ewing. despite having talent on the team. And then
My gosh,
it's
I
probably
think meant the player. I think meant You said that, I was like, come again?
no, when he was coach.
Yeah.
His short and sad coaching tenure as
Hey, you have that
Georgetown's coach.
Big East tournament run that one year.
Yeah, they'll always have that.
Yeah. They did have Mac McClung.
Yeah, the first white player in the history
Yeah.
of Georgetown basketball.
Actually, Brendan Gaughan was a walk-on there. Travis knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah, former NASCAR driver. He was a walk-on
he was
teammate with Allen Iverson
He
at
was like
Georgetown.
He was roommates with Allen Iverson, I thought.
And then somehow, roommates with Allen Iverson, somehow became like a fat NASCAR driver, which I don't think I've ever looked fully enough into his story to figure out how the hell that happened, but it did indeed happen.
Yeah, he was also a kicker on Georgetown's football team.
What? And it's like his family owns like one of the biggest casinos in Las Vegas. This guy is
one of the wildest,
an interesting character.
Stories. Yeah.
Well, that's a fun story. Yeah.
Anyway, Georgetown's looking like they're looking like a tournament team, and they beat a solid tournament team in Clemson. So good non-conference win for them to build up their tourney resume. If they happen to find themselves on the bubble.
Yeah, Clemson has lost quite a bit from the last couple of years. They haven't done a ton to replace it, but they lost a lot, and those are some good teams. They had the one Elite Eight team. Last year they had a good team, and they just ran into the Will Wade buzzsaw at the end of the year there. So yeah, it's still a Clemson squad that's going to live on the bubble and in NIT discussions, but
Clark Kellogg going to put them in the Final Four.
Clark Kellogg's national runner-up, yeah. So it remains to be seen with them, and I mean Georgetown, it's encouraging. I would say that they're probably more realistically the fourth best team or gunning for that spot. I still think Creighton's better than them. But yeah, it's it's fun for Georgetown to be in that spot. It's been a very slow burn for Ed Cooley, and seems as if they might have a potential tournament team on their hands there. So we'll see. Still a lot of time, but not a bad start for them at all.
I think that's about all we got on that one. I don't know. Other than that, not a lot of big stuff to talk about this weekend. I mean, we got to talk Memphis. What the hell is going on there?
It's bad.
They're terrible.
That's
shocking loss to UNLV.
I mean, they're pretty much in a situation now where it's you better go.
Kastner revenge game.
You better go on a run in the American if you're Memphis, or there's going to be a lot of questions being asked about.
Well, they have to win that tournament. They literally have to win that tournament in order.
Yeah, their non-conference case is pretty much dead.
Yeah.
I mean, that's if you told me UNLV won this thing by I wouldn't if you just told me UNLV won a close game, I wouldn't have been surprised coming out of this one, but I did not have on my bingo card Memphis just getting smoked here. I don't know. I mean, it's a brand new roster. They didn't bring back a single minute from last year's team, and it's obviously Penny's up against a lot there, and losing Haggerty was a killer for them, but still, I mean, for it to go south this early for them and them be in a situation now where it's you better go win the American tournament. I don't think coming into the season that was we expected to be in week 3 talking about Memphis's at-large prospects being pretty much dead, but here we are.
Apparently, Memphis boosters are not happy at Penny Hardaway at the current moment.
I mean, the Memphis
Yeah.
boosters don't really have much. Like, I would not say they have really given him the resources that are equal to some of the best teams in the country that he's trying to compete for recruits with. Like, I know Haggerty wanted a ton of money, but that is someone you simply should not let leave your building if you're Memphis. Like, you have gone the freshman recruit route in that Wiseman year and the Imani Bates years. But like they had a decent team last year. If they were fully healthy, they probably would have been like potentially a Sweet 16 Elite 8 caliber team. And like that was a good team they had. A lot of them aged out, but like yeah, in no way should they have allowed Haggerty to leave. And it's not as if Haggerty like went to Duke or North Carolina or Kansas, someone with a really big recruiting budget, like went out the door for like did not like a mid-level at best Big 12 team. So yeah, I would say like yes, Memphis Boosters, you have a right to not be happy with the head coach, but like let's call for what it is here. Give maybe put some more money on the table to keep your best guys.
But for them to just get smoked by UNLV tonight, that was wild.
Yeah.
And then the other game to mention from the weekend is Florida looked a lot better against Miami. I don't think Miami's very good, so that's not a super impressive win or anything, but looked a lot better. Miami kept this thing close for a little bit and like was trying to claw back into it early in the second half, but Florida pressed the gas and was able to get it done. Won this one pretty comfortably. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm still not. I still think there's a lot of questions to be answered about Florida right now. Like if we look at teams with Final Four expectations at the start of the season, I think Florida would firmly be in like the most question marks you have of those teams through the first couple weeks of the season, but they were able to get it done against Miami tonight and at least silence the noise for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, not much to say there. Florida just kind of took care of business against Miami.
Miami's in a just full-on rebuild, so not really expecting them to provide much resistance in that one.
Any other? Oklahoma got a good road win last night against Nebraska. That was a good game.
Nebraska beat Oklahoma.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, it was.
I had it backwards. My bad.
Yeah, the final score was 105-99 in the Sanford Pentagon. Nigel Packens.
I had that thing complete. I said I was watching the game and I somehow had that thing completely messed up. I was just like as fake news as it gets there.
Big games from Rink Mast and Price Sanford for Nebraska.
Yeah, I don't know. Anything else on the weekend?
I was gonna
mention. You guys wanted to mention?
I was gonna mention our friend Doug Gottlieb took Minnesota to overtime.
Oh, good for Doug.
Yeah, they really should have beat him.
Yeah.
I was impressed. Yeah, they should have beat Minnesota. Almost had him.
And then the end, like Minnesota shot a buzzer beater at the end and made it, but it didn't count because he didn't get it off in time.
Yeah.
Jacob, I'm surprised you haven't taken your chance to mention the fact that Indiana got a single-digit win against Incarnate Word today. I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, they just kind of fell asleep, to be honest. And Incarnate Word hit a bunch of shots, like couldn't miss. IU just kind of fell asleep on offense. I was watching the end of the game, and Incarnate Word just kind of like was taking better shots than Indiana was. Let me look at it was like under 5 points. It was like under 5 points with like a minute left.
Yeah, it's not ideal. And also, Louisville, another 100-point performance.
Yeah.
So they're still humming on all cylinders offensively.
Not game related, but seems like the Darryn Peterson injury is pretty significant with Kansas right now, and he's got a bad hammy, and seems like he might be out for a few weeks. So yeah, they got to get him healthy and get him ready for Big 12 play. So I wouldn't be surprised if they sat him for a while, because like you don't want to take a chance with a hamstring injury and have that thing bugging all year. So, but yeah, seems like that. Seemed like it was just nothing big, and it seems like it might be more significant than we thought it was at first. So something to keep an eye on there with the Jayhawks.
I know I got to give props to both my teams this weekend. ETSU ended North Alabama, one of the longest home winning streaks in the nation for North Alabama against North Alabama. Came back from an 18-point deficit to win within the final couple minutes, 78-74. So a big win for them over the ASUN favorite going into this year. And then tonight, Purdue played a great game against Akron. Akron is a lot better than the first couple teams Purdue plays in the Big Ten. Like, they're a legit tournament team this year.
It's crazy to say that. But yes, it's probably true.
They came out. They just hit threes. They have a good offense. Like, a lot of lesser teams would struggle against.
Where would Akron finish in the Big Ten if they played a Big Ten schedule this year?
Would they make the Big Ten tournament?
I'd say they make the Big Ten tournament. They're like I don't know, somewhere in there, but they have good guard play.
500th win for Matt Painter, though. Congrats on that.
500th win. Two things. Oscar Clough and Omir Meyer, they are the real deal. They look phenomenal.
Yeah. Anything else on the weekend, guys? Or we about Rap City here.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts at the podium on ESPN. Do not care. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Fun games to talk. Oh, well, let's talk about what's upcoming this week before I wrap up. Let me go through the days. Let's see. Today we got bunch of crap. Nothing today. That's fun. Tuesday we got okay. So we got the Champions Classic this week. We got Michigan State plays Kentucky on Tuesday, and where's the other one? Sorry, I'm scrolling through the games. I was not prepared to. And then Duke plays Kansas. The spread's 7.5 for Duke, and I don't know if that's accounting for Darryn Peterson playing or not, but based off Bill Self's comments the other day, I would not expect to see Darryn Peterson playing, so that sucks. So Champions Classic, those games, anything? What do you guys think?
I mean, those are going to be great matchups. Michigan State and Kentucky. We'll get to see where Kentucky stands as a team. Michigan State's been playing their consistent, their typical consistent ball so far this year. Cohen Cars look great. Who's the freshman that played? Who's Cam Ward for Michigan State? We'll see how he does.
Yeah, Champions Classic delivers every year
Mhm.
usually. Those matchups are really fun. I mean, this will be one where like Michigan State player for player is not really anywhere near Kentucky, but they're going to be tied with like a minute to go, and Izzo will perform witchcraft and win them that game somehow. So, yeah, excited for that, and yeah, those matchups are usually fun every year. So,
I mean, we're getting robbed of a Cam Boozer, Darryn Peterson
yes,
game with this
absolutely,
Darryn Peterson injury.
yeah.
All right. So we got those games. Matt, we got Arizona UConn on Wednesday. What do you think there?
I think it'll be pretty similar to what you saw with BYU. Kobe Pete's not the same type of player that AJ Dybansta is. So for those who have not seen Kobe Pete, it's going to be a very similar kind of game where they have a difficulty probably guarding one guy. But yeah, I think UConn at this point is a little more well-rounded than Arizona is. So we'll see.
Jacob, Purdue heads to the Bahamas this week.
Yes, yeah.
A bowling alley in
Yep,
Jamaica.
your
As
bowling
Matt
shoes.
said.
Yeah.
If I think if we play Memphis to start out, should smoke them. But if we win that game, there's a potential matchup with Texas Tech. That may be one of the games of the week as well.
Yep, that's against Purdue. Should smoke Memphis, but we'll
Yeah.
see. Kansas State plays Mississippi State on Thursday. That should be a fun matchup.
Did you mention Alabama, Illinois on Wednesday?
I did not. Okay, I scrolled past that one.
Yeah.
Whatever the over is, it's going to be like 180 something probably. Yeah. Like
tempo
that will be in the hundreds. Is that's at Champaign, right?
It is. Let me look. It is at United Center in Chicago.
Okay. So that should be a Illinois home game.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of points in that one. So yeah, we got that. Yeah, we got, like I said, Memphis and Purdue on Thursday. Purdue shouldn't have any problems there. Wake Forest gets another chance to redeem themselves from that Michigan game. They play Texas Tech on Thursday.
That's also in the Bahamas.
Okay, so that's what you're talking about. We have potential for.
Yeah, that's the other matchup. So the winners will play each other and the losers will play each other on Friday.
Got it. And Friday, let's see, what do we got? Louisville is taking the show on the road for the first time this year. They go to Cincinnati. So that could be interesting.
Wisconsin and BYU at 4:00.
We get a tournament rematch from last year. Yeah, other than that, it looks like nothing jumping off the page, but you guys got anything on either of those games?
Not really.
Not particularly, no.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that about does it. I guess we'll try to get back at it Friday night and recap what we got going this week. But we got some get your bowling shoes, as Matt said, because we got some teams starting to head to the bowling alleys this week. So, yep, that'll be fun. But yeah, we'll be back Friday to recap what goes down this week. But got some fun matchups. Should be a good show Friday. Seems like quite a few good games we have this week that we'll have to talk about. So, yeah. Anything else before I give the official wrap up, guys?
Can't think of
Seems. Yeah. What's up,
just
Jacob?
Have to mention Purdue played Akron tonight. I have a picture of Oscar Clough punching a kangaroo.
Wow.
It's my background because the Akron's mascot is the zip or is a kangaroo, and Oscar Clough is from Australia. So I
Is the
just
zip the kangaroo?
I did
no,
not
that's
know
just
that.
their mascot.
What?
They chose their mascot as a kangaroo. I don't know why.
Interesting.
I think the zips
Oh,
is
there.
related to the rubber industry. A reference to the rubber industry.
Zip them up.
Yeah.
You guys remember the Xavier Cincinnati fight those years ago? Zip them up. Hell yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back Friday night. Good games to recap this week, but good show tonight. Some fun ones to talk about, but make sure you go to Sectator Media on YouTube, subscribe, like the stream, follow us on Twitter, One Shining Recap and Sectator Media. And yeah, we got some good games to watch this week, and we'll be back Friday night to talk about what goes down this week. But until then, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you.